Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner at Night. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from California. And yeah, usually this is in the middle of the day, but I got a little busy. Had to take care of some business. Greetings, everyone. So let's see who's here. We do have a little bit of good news on the Lord of the Rings front. It's not much, but it's good. Somebody else got canceled, or they tried to cancel somebody else today, and I'm sure they're going to cancel a few other people while we're doing this live stream. Ricky Gervase called out cancel culture again. Probably going to do a video on that one, but we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll go over the Whisper Network stuff that we didn't finish on Friday Night Tights a little bit, but I'm going to save most of that for Friday due to our special guest on Friday. And we also have to talk about the comic industry overall and that Star Trek, the Star Trek trailer we got for Lower Decks. I'm sure you guys aren't done talking about that because I'm not done talking about that. So let's see if we go. Who do we have here today? We've got Redneck Trekker. What's up? Oh my God, I picked the second one. Warishin. Alpha Omega Records. Von Doofus. Edward Latz. Christopher 88. Speaker for the Dead. Castler. And Withering Liberal. Yes. Drake is 6. The Dried Snug. Brian Murphy. Angry Mango. Chris FX10, John Robertson, Chris Persia and his Canadian Wrench, Titus Moeller, Orchnestra, Red Tigress, Emelaman Ace, Jeffrey Riley, Craig Forrest, Bastard RR, Occasional Cortex, Padawan AR, Waiting for Nerdrotic, Monster Huntress Rune, Dave DiPietro, and I know how to say that last name because my wife used to work for DiPietro Todd Salon. I wonder if you're related to that DiPietro. He died a long time ago. K. John Boom, Spike and Madness, Lethan Loon, Rennie A, Chaz Baird, Lady Damania. Sorry, I got to say these things slow. Chura. Remember, I was kicked out of 3 high schools, folks. Dr. Smith X, Carries, Luke, Deshane, Hologram Nunchuck, Quarter Black Garrett, what's up, dude? And Steven Esperson. Well, greetings and welcome, everyone, to a rare late night start for a live stream. I could probably do more of these, but I'm usually working, and I've been working a lot. So Sebastion Stan was targeted for cancellation after rumored girlfriend's costume party outfit declared racist. Now, okay, costume parties should now be canceled. And if this becomes targets for cancellation, every hairdresser on the planet should be canceled. It's a big thing. There was even a fashion phase in the early aughts of women dressing in Japanese garb. There was a whole geisha thing that went on in fashion for a long, long time. Mrs. Nerdrotic wore a lot of Japanese garb. And now I guess she should be canceled too. Well, don't worry. California kind of canceled everyone yesterday. So I guess we'll be discussing that. You know, I would love to keep it to pop culture, and it is related to pop culture because the pop culture will be affected, seeing that Hollywood is in California. It doesn't look like any of those movies we were looking forward to, or were we really looking forward to them? Like Tenet, I was, are going to come out at all this year. And I tried to warn you. I heard whispers of this right after, during the rioting and the looting and the protests. Very hard to decipher between the three, honestly. And now we are paying the consequences. We were all asking, well, I guess we'll find out if the beer bug is real. If all these people are running around, doesn't matter if they have a mask or not, honestly. They were on top of each other for long periods of time, and now we see the spike. Now small businesses and the people who obey the rules, who abide by the rules, who believe in some law and order in this country, because that's how, most people are not getting in trouble. Most people are just going about their lives, and now those most people get to suffer. They get to suffer for the whining of a precious few. A precious few. It looked like big numbers. It certainly did on your little TV screen or your big TV screen. But compared to the population of the country, it was minuscule. Kind of like Twitter. So the ridiculousness continues. And these actors who are sitting around doing nothing are now getting canceled because of their girlfriends or their boyfriends. One actress from Handmaid's Tale, they went after her because her boyfriend voted for Trump. And now they're going after Sebastian Stan's girlfriend for this. So Marvel's Winter Soldier actor Sebastian Stan is being targeted for cancellation due to his rumored girlfriend's costume for an Asian-themed party that happened over 2 years ago. Stan's rumored girlfriend and Spanish actor Alejandra Onieva was tagged in a photo by self-described journalist Casalita Arguella. We're just going to say Casalita. The photo, dated April 1st, 2018, shows the two attending an Asian-themed costume party where it appears guests wore kimonos and other articles of clothing from Asian styles. Sagar Minaga captioned the photo Asian Night. Onieva responded to the photo saying, Menudo Noche de Chinos. What a Chinese night. And that's I guess it transfers to. However, it can also be translated to what an Asian night. There is the picture. Oh my God. So my wife wore something almost exactly on the right. Again, there was a whole thing in fashion about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that was centered around Asian culture. There wasn't a problem with it. Now everybody's going to get canceled if this is a problem. Everybody in the beauty industry, they're all going to be gone. So, according to Newsweek, the Instagram post would be discovered by Twitter user Angelus550, who took to Twitter to call out Stan and gin up a Twitter cancel mob against him. What a brave soul. This guy right here. Call him out. Is this guy Stan Tom Hiddleston? And so Tom Hiddleston. Angelus550. What the F is an Asian night? Are you kidding me? This is nasty. Hashtag Sebastian Stan. You know what's nasty? You. You are nasty. You are foul. You are the saddest form of life and of human. And anybody who sits out and does this stuff, that is a giant red flag for somebody who needs some serious, serious help. I do have some sympathy for a person until they do this. You can't blame everything on your personal problems, be they clinical or not. You're going to hear explosions in the background because the 4th of July is continuing, by the way. Angela550 also claimed the post was on Onieva's Instagram account. For context, this is Sebastian's PR girlfriend. dressing up as a Japanese geisha, which is extremely disrespectful and racist. Not okay. This post is also on her profile captioned "to Japanese" and hashtagged geishas. For context, this is Sebastian's PR's girlfriend. Wow. This is the equivalent of doing blackface, posting a pic and captioned it African American Night. Not okay. No, actually it isn't. It's not. But you know what? I mean, if this continues, you're not going to be able to. Well, right now, you can't have white actors doing anything, right? Except for just being white actors. So we're not going to have acting anymore. We're not going to have costumes anymore. They are systematically trying to take out fun because it is important. It's important for comfort. It's important for Western civilization. It's also a sign of a very healthy economy, civilization, and what we are suffering from probably is being too well off. There hasn't been any major conflict. We're talking world wars, major wars anywhere. And it makes me think of Mr. Smith in The Matrix when he called us all a virus with shoes. And remember, the original Matrix was all heavenly and all of us rejected it. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm personally okay with relaxing once in a while and not looking for drama. The call to cancel Sebastian would evolve into its own Twitter hashtag with the Sebastian Stan is over trending on the social media platform with 17,000 tweets. 17,000 tweets. So if 17,000 tweets are getting things trending on Twitter, is Twitter almost over? Maybe, okay, I haven't been on, I don't go on Twitter all day, and it's only been recently that I've been on there as much as I have, which is about 30, 40 minutes a day. Today, I haven't been on it at all, other than to answer a couple of messages, but I didn't go on main Twitter. So didn't it used to take more than that to trend? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Many of the tweets, as is now the trend on Twitter, feature fan cams of various celebrities. However, there are a number of tweets attempting to cancel Sebastian Stan. One person wrote, "Stop defending Seb and stop speaking over and invalidating the feelings of the Asian community." Because the Asian community is a hive mind, just like all the other communities. She is culturally appropriating Asian communities. Oh my God. Thanks for telling me this is bad and just awful that she should do that. And she's just bad if she blocks people who call her out. Don't forget about this either. Marvel is full of bigots. You know what? It is. It is. Not going to deny that one, Luna. Just not the bigots you were thinking. He's ignoring her racism. Sorry to start out with this one. I thought I'd get it out of the way. Right? It seems more and more people interact with the hashtag. Fewer and fewer people are on board with the idea of canceling Sebastian Stan. While it might seem like this campaign to cancel Stan might go nowhere, a similar campaign has already been successful. The LA Galaxy released a former player, Alexander Katai, over social media posts from his wife. Katai's wife posted an Instagram video of the NYPD SUV driving into a BLM protesters in the caption. I don't know what it says. It says kill the shits. Well, Um, that's a little salty. That's a little salty. Um, but I don't think anybody should be canceled for it. Yep, you heard it. I don't think anybody should be canceled for it. I think, and I say that for the other side too. I see a lot of stupidity on Twitter that I do not agree with. I don't want anyone canceled from that side. I don't want anyone canceled from this side. There is an argument out there that things have gotten too extreme, that if you are, and Ricky Gervase talks about this, and we'll go over it a little bit, if you are even slightly conservative, you are considered a Yahtzee. And he says on the other side, if you are even slightly left, you're considered a Marxist. No, I can discern between somebody who's just a classic liberal or just a progressive and somebody who's a straight up Marxist, because the Marxists fly the hammer and sickle flag and tell you that they're a Marxist. So I'm going to believe them. I'm going to believe them. Now, I'm sure there are people on Twitter who admit to being alt-right and all about it and stuff. I just don't see it. I don't see it. But I see the other one thing all the time. And again, that whole system is antithetical to everything I'm about. I am about capitalism, but don't like a lot of rules. I just don't like a lot of rules. Yeah, the Galaxy issued a statement on Twitter on June 3rd condemning the posts and released the player. They released the player. My. Jesus Christ. We'll get to that, this one in a little bit. Cancel culture. Isn't it fun? Cancel culture daily. Cancel culture palooza. Cancel culture Rama. When's it going to end? Well, I think it's starting to end. It's going to take a while. Word on the street is Twitter is bleeding users. Sean Gordon Murphy has left Twitter. And for obvious reasons. They have tried to cancel him multiple times. Part of that Whisper network we're going to talk about has tried to cancel him multiple times, and he did the smart thing. He got the hell out of there. And the KARENS, the cancel culture KARENS, from the comic book industry. You know, the people. I put a tweet up the other day. The comic industry is now people you have never heard of canceling people you might have heard of. And those people you have never, ever heard of are still at it. They are going after Warren Ellis right now. There was another article that was up. We're not going to go. I mean, it's another one. It's just like, it'll just read like Sebastian Stan. You're going to wonder what the hell he did. I'll sum it up with this. Warren Ellis flirted with women. Warren Ellis used his stature as a pretty damn good comic book writer to chat it up with a little bit of with some of the ladies. And the ladies knew what they were doing because they were adults. They weren't being groomed. So they're trying to mix Warren in with some people who were genuine creepers, genuine bad people who should be shown the door. But in Warren's case, all he did was flirt. And here's the crime. These women flirted with Warren Ellis. Maybe he got down with some of them. And these women did not become Alan Moore. Now, I doubt Warren Ellis even insinuated they would become Alan Moore. But maybe he said, I'll get you in here. I'll get you in there. You know, this is not unlike... This is going to be a stretch, but not really. Getting a shout out on YouTube. So when you shout out another channel, an up and coming channel, it can give that channel a boost. It gives them some new subs, him or her some new subs, but it's up to the channel to keep the audience there and to make it grow. So if Warren gives them a shout out, we'll just call it a shout out. It's up to these women who get into the comic industry, which is not the easiest thing to get into. It's up to the women to get the sales. And some have and some haven't. And they have been given every single listen, women are the most privileged thing in the comic book industry right now. Kelly Sue DeConnick is the best example. An average writer who, if she was a dude, she's got a dude's name, Kelly. If she was a dude, she'd be out of work right now. But she keeps getting work, and they keep trying to put her on top tier books. They keep trying to make Captain Marvel a top tier book. It's never going to make it. I mean, it has been years. They have been trying to push this since 2013. No, since 2013 when her book came out. They have been trying to make Captain Marvel the Superman of Marvel for 7 years, and it hasn't worked. 7 years. Long before the SJW Marvel stuff blew up, and they're still trying. They're still trying. So, yeah, Gavin, I kind of glanced over an article yesterday from SF Gate. I hate going to the mainstream media to see what Gavin, Chairman Newsom, said for our state. And it looks like he's rolling back all the stuff that opened up recently. So I heard some people saying it's completely shut down here. It's not completely shut down here yet. Shelter in place is completely shut down. I imagine that will be here. They might open up stuff a little bit more, but come late September, October, there's going to be another spike somehow, and they will figure out a way to shut it down here. So it's that predictable. It really is that predictable. It's as predictable as a woke plot. Jake D, welcome to the Gandalf level. Upgrading to the Gandalf level. I appreciate it. Alpha Omega Records for 10 pounds. We're winning. BBC facing $1 billion crisis as Boris set to... Is that right? 1 billion? Crisis as Boris set to push ahead with decriminalizing TV license fee. They'll be defunded by 2022 at the latest. Finally, hashtag defund the BBC. Boris, man, that is awesome. So, does Doctor Who make it past 2022? Considering they can't shoot. Now, you guys are in better shape than we are, so maybe you will start shooting in September. New Zealand is shooting. The only global television show that's in production right now, as we speak, is Lord of the Rings on Prime. They started shooting. Actors are there. And this is according to the OneRing.net. I watch their live streams every day. They only had 27 people in their live stream today. And they dropped the best Lord of the Rings news. And they said full-on production today. So that we'll at least get one TV show in a couple of years. But Hollywood is in bad shape. So all of these announced shows, I wouldn't count on half of them. Half of them coming to fruition, especially Star Trek Picard. Think about Star Trek Picard just a little bit. We talked about it on the Inquisition. Practically, let's think about it. You have an 80-year-old lead who has to travel from the UK, and I don't know if he's there or not. I don't know if you can even travel to the UK. He probably has to get a special visa. Then he has to quarantine for 2 weeks. Then, all the other actors have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Can he even get near actors? Can he be insured? That's the question. Can Patrick Stewart be insured? Because what if Sir Patrick Stewart gets the beer bug on set? The liability. Oh, man. That would be a hell of a thing to get sick over. I won't even go to the next level, but that would just be a hell of a thing to get sick over. Freaking Star Trek Picard. Defund the BBC. Boris, I say decriminalize it now. I say decriminalize it now. Sorry, folks. Hang on. I got to keep an eye on things. You know, knock on wood, there hasn't been a ghosted live stream lately, but I'm going to be talking about some salty subjects later. So we'll see how long it stays up. Waiting for Nerdrotic, thank you for the 99 cents. Jason Smoot, thank you for the phallic unicorn for $1.49. Neon Wolf. Neon Wolf, it just jumped on me. What's up, Lethal Lightning? Hail. The BBC put out a piece on Country File the other week about how the countryside is a white environment. Oh, what? What? I didn't know I had cringe muscles that could cringe like that. No more BS, defund the BBC. And you know what? I liked Country File. It was such an innocent show. The countryside is a white environment. You're insane. Anybody who thinks like that, you're insane. This is not going to end well, folks. I hope I'm wrong. Jesus, Neon Wolf. You know, just when I thought the UK is probably doing a little better than the US right now. Because remember, you guys weren't doing that great. I mean, you were arresting people for tweets, and a dude who had his dog do a salute to that German guy. Alpha Omega Records for £10. BBC has also decided to charge over 75s the fee from August. Bullshit. If I was over 75s, I just wouldn't pay it. Massive outcry in the UK. Boris will be even more popular when he decriminalizes. Oh, and Gary, we need to talk. Lots to say. Yeah, we do need to talk. We do need to talk. I am working on a Doctor Who live stream for this weekend, and I'm trying to get all the players in. So far we got Bowles Trek, we got Noel. I'm gonna see if Az can jump in. We got Blue Bonnet. I'm going to see if Type 40 can come on. We're going to get the Rabbi on. We're going to get all the Doctor Who people on because we got to talk about this. So yeah, we maybe we'll get you on. I'll let you know time in a little bit because there was a conflict with another live stream and I got to work it out. Where are the American women at? I offer barter. Lethal Lightning for Australian $2. Well, what do you got? What do you got? And how are we going to get them there? Did they open up your borders yet, Lethal Lightning? I know Kamikaze was telling me that this was like a month ago, that your borders between your states were closed. Well, I would say if they did that here, there'd be rebellion, but I'm not sure anymore. I don't know if we've got the guts for it. I don't know if we've got the huevos for it. We're letting the government steamroll us right now. And I got to be careful what I say. I'm going to kind of speak in code in this one. Eric July, Young Rip of 59, has been absolutely on point. There's been very few, if anything, I can think of that things that he said that I can think of that I would disagree with at this point, especially when it comes to the state and the state's oppression. Ask me to wear a mask. Sure, no problem. Tell me to wear a mask. Then we have a problem. Now, when I go out, I wear a mask when I'm next to somebody, but generally it's off. I'm not driving around in my car with my mask on. It's ridiculous when I'm by myself. So we just witnessed a bunch of civil disobedience. Did we not? It was a bunch of we also witnessed a lot of crimes, a lot of actual crimes. So I'm going to ask a question. If everybody just didn't obey, how could they stop us? They can't. That's the answer. You know, I mentioned this earlier. I just paid my income tax. I know this is really sexy talk, live stream talk, income tax talk. I paid my income tax and I paid my California state tax. And I feel like an absolute sucker. I feel like a sucker. So, I guess I'm not sure they extended the PPP or anything that's for employees. I don't really give a shit. I don't want government fucking handouts anymore. It was bad enough that we had to take them, and I don't want them. And I wish we could waive them. And I think we're going to if we can. And honestly, that money's going to run out, folks. That money is going to run out. And this isn't a Fed problem, by the way. When California does something, it's a California problem. But this state is so big, it now affects Nevada. It affects Oregon and Washington. I mean, Oregon and Washington are now extensions of California. Nevada's turning into that. I just want to apologize to all the sane people who are over there. I know Arizona has fought it, and they should. And I know a lot of us will be leaving this state, including yours truly. Again, I will say, don't vote like a Californian. Please keep that in mind. You don't want to take it with you. Alpha Omega Records, welcome to the Jaloja level. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lethal Lightning, again. Yeah, the BBC are going to be in a lot of trouble. And this is what happens when you don't serve the people. And that's what Hollywood hasn't been doing that either. So the defunding of Hollywood is well on its way. You know, Hollywood's getting a big bailout. Did you hear about that? Hollywood is getting a big goddamn government bailout. And they already get a bunch of tax breaks on their shows. Now, I believe they shouldn't be taxed on their shows at all, personally. But I don't think we should be helping them out in any way, shape, or form, especially after the last 3 or 4 weeks. They have proven that they are the enemy of the people, just as big tech is the enemy of the people. We should talk about, the Patreon thing is complicated. But I'm wondering how that relates to YouTube. So Patreon is getting sued by Owen Benjamin. Don't want to confuse it with Carl Benjamin, who is Sargon of Akkad, who was kicked off. Owen Benjamin, who I'm not too familiar with at all, was kicked off of Patreon for his views. He asked a bunch of his former patrons, to sue Patreon. The way the law works here in California, the arbitration law is the Patreon would have to pay the arbitration up front. And what they did is Patreon changed their rules so you can't class action lawsuit Patreon. So what Owen Benjamin did was had each individual patron sue Patreon individually. And that puts Patreon on the hook for each one of their arbitration payments, which could get up to $500,000 collectively. I think it's 78 of them are suing. And there's another $500,000 in court fees. The number gets huge. It gets huge for Patreon, which doesn't bring in as much money as you think. They're not like this. They might be technically worth $1 billion. I doubt it, but they don't bring in that much money. They really don't. So, yeah, and it turns out that the court sided with Owen Benjamin's patrons tentatively, and Patreon might be on the hook. We don't know for sure yet. And that might be a workaround for like PayPal and other agencies silencing people for their views. I believe, who else is affected by this? Dick Masterson, I believe. I think MasterCard canceled him through PayPal or something. So that might be a way to fight this. And I always said, and I always warned, that the one thing that will ruin all of this, people complain a lot about YouTube, but it's a pretty fun gig. And if you mind your P's and Q's and you learn the YouTube speak, you'll be just fine. You won't get demonetized. I don't have too many problems. Now, I'm not as extreme as some people, and those people should be allowed, by the way. But what's going to mess this up? Right now, Silicon Valley has every Californian politician in their pocket. But that's not going to last forever. And once they start seeing more and more content creators making money, more and more Patreons, more and more Twitch streamers making money, they're going to want a piece of that pie. They're going to think of a tax. They're going to think of a streamer tax or a content creator tax or some shit like that. It will happen, I guarantee you. And if it gets to be too much of a problem, they'll shut it all down. They'll find a way to screw it up and shut it all down. I don't know. I don't think they would go out to shut it all down, but some politician, because politicians are dumb. They're dumb. A lot of them are lawyers, but a lot of them are just dumb. And they don't understand half the legislation they put through. And it could end up screwing this whole thing up. So when you see the door open and you get excited, and you should be, we found something to fight some of this bullshit from Patreon and YouTube. Double-edged sword every single time, especially here in California. If it was in another state, I wouldn't worry as much. If it was in, like Texas or, like a normal state, not like California. But California will find a way to screw any good thing up. Remember, it wasn't all California's fault, but remember eBay. It was litigation and what's her face? I forgot her name. The one who was started Quibi. eBay used to be a great place, used to be a good thing, and it's not as good as it used to be. Rick Kipler, welcome to the Proto-Molecule level. Carl Eskins, thank you for the $4.99. Turn up the volume. I don't know if I can, man. You're going to have to turn up the volume. This is as high as it gets until I get my new system in. Here, let me listen to myself real quick. Hang on, folks. Bear with me. I will be listening myself. Rick Kipler, welcome to the Proto-Molecule level. Carl Eskins, I hear myself. Digi Akuma for $10. Just found out about CBS disabling likes and dislikes and comments from Lower Decks trailer. Frankly, I'm not surprised. Did CBS think what happened with Sony with The Last of Us 2 wouldn't happen to them, right? So, Ryan Cannell's live stream was struck down. It was a copyright claim. It wasn't a strike. And I think it was blocked worldwide. I had a live stream for my members that was unlisted. That was taken down with a worldwide copyright claim, and they blocked it. I think Anna got hit. Pretty much anybody who covered the trailer without stopping every 9 seconds, talking over it. Even if you did that, they were claiming it. Now, they aren't supposed to do that. We have every right to cover it. Now, Doomcock and I did that on Sunday night on the Inquisition, and we didn't get hit. And I know why we didn't get hit, but I'm going to keep that to myself. Now, I guess they could always go manually go for it. I don't know why, but no, so far on the original live stream which was on my channel, everything's fine. And on the re-uploaded live stream, everything is fine. There are ways to get around the bots. There are ways. But of course not. CBS did that to me last year with the same thing, with the Picard trailer. That's the reason Nerdrotic Live is even there. So yes, they're going to hit us when they can. One thing I hope you noticed in my video, and I'll repeat it here again, I read a lot of those comments that were removed. How many of them sounded, I don't know, racist, homophobic? Did any of them? Or were they just saying, wow, that really looks like crap? Nobody asked for Rick and Morty Star Trek. You do Rick and Morty Star Trek if you have 3 shows that are completely kicking ass. That's when you can go, let's do some crazy animated show because everything we're doing is gold right now. Again, I can relate it to YouTube. You upload 3 videos in a row and they all do like over 100,000 views. You're like, I could put out one that's just whatever. Yeah, when you're on a roll, you do it. Not when you have farts that are like Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery. And that's the best description of them. They are complete trash. They're garbage. They have ruined this franchise, and they are not a success. If they were, show us the numbers. CBS, show us the numbers. You can do that at any time. We did get ratings for Star Trek Discovery, the first episode, which aired on CBS on primetime. 8 million people watched that episode. According to my insider who works in that building, no episode of Star Trek Discovery or Picard has come close to that. Not even close. He said multiple episodes combined would not equal those views. And there was some serious talk apparently about moving Star Trek to network TV. I don't know how long ago that talk was. I believe it was in between Star Trek Discovery and Picard, but there was serious conversation about just taking it off the stream. And you know what? They probably still should. It would do better. It would. I mean, look at how many people watch Batwoman. So yeah, they disabled the likes and comments. It was getting ratioed, and it was also bullshit. If you noticed, they had upwards of about 700,000 views, and they only had 3,000 likes. That's equal to a video that has about 40,000 views, 50,000 views. So I'm guessing the other 650,000 were embedded in advertising. They were paid for clicks. That thing was on trending for over a day. How can you be on trending for over a day when you're getting ratioed and you only have 3,000 likes? Because that does have something to do with trending. It's not all views. It's your click-through rate related to the likes, related to comments. Believe it, yeah. So comments are a huge factor with a YouTube video. I'm sure you've heard this from every content creator, but I would say they're some of the biggest factor. What I've noticed, a commonality with my videos, the ones that get the most views are the ones that have the most comments. For instance, between my Doctor Who rumor video and my Game of Thrones video, the Doctor Who rumor video has like twice as many. The Game of Thrones video has twice as many comments than the Doctor Who video. A lot of people bitching about George, and I don't blame them. And I think that has something to do with why it's doing so damn well. It hit 300,000 today. So thank you. Philimax for Australian $7.99. It's freaking hot in here. Why? It's not even hot outside. I wonder if I'm above the laundry room. I wonder if somebody's doing laundry. Philimax for $7.99 Australian. I think we need to send CBS some butt cream to help them get over the butt hurt. Kurtzman gave them the latest trailer. Dude, that was the best you had to offer? That was the best you had to offer. Did anybody, honestly, and you could be real, did anybody laugh? I would say the closest thing in that trailer to being funny was at the end, when she shoots the phaser at him and says, "Oh yeah, that was on Stun." I mean, like, you can't do a whole show on that humor. By the way, SJWs can't be funny. It's impossible for them to be funny. What kind of jokes are we gonna get? I mean, playing with the shields and the phasers and picking up puke in the holodeck. Wow, stoner humor. And you know what? I don't mean to disrespect Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a real TV show that a lot of people like. That, I mean, I'm not into it or anything, but I respect it as a TV show. It's got a huge fan base. People love it. Freaking stoners love it. And I love me some stoner humor. I do. I don't partake in the ganj anymore, but I love stoner humor. Beer Fest is one of my favorite all-time movies. And I know it's about beer, but it's still stoner humor. Come on. I don't drink. I don't smoke pot, but I freaking love Beer Fest. Gray Ghost for $5. Hail, Gary. I found the next target to cancel. If you Google Great Wall of China, Dora the Explorer, and select the images tab, it's the top 2 hits. Okay, I gotta Google That's a random Google. That is what are you Googling, Gray Ghost? Don't answer that question. Really, just don't. I don't judge, man. I don't judge. The first thing that comes up is I can't really see it. Is Dora jumps over the Great Wall of China. Dora the Explorer World Adventure Chinese Dora the Explorer. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Maybe you're getting a different search than I am. I'm not seeing anything. Well, I mean, the fact that she went to China, they'll probably cancel that. So, Joseph Allen for why don't you just let me know what you saw, Gray Ghost? Just put it in the chat. Hit @Nerdrotic. Joseph Allen for $5. Hey Gary, I tried to shout out you and Doomcock and the Critical Drinker on tonight's Timcast. No luck, but I won't stop trying. Well, dude, thank you, Joseph. I would love to talk to that dude, but he's big time, man. That's a big time YouTuber right there. Just like, Razor Fist and Crowder and stuff. You know what? I'm okay with being low tier. I'm low tier. It's cool. But thank you, Joseph. I would love to talk to that dude sometime. Sometimes I want to talk him down. I'll go, young Tim. I get old man on him and go, young Tim, get off the ledge. You watch too much news. The world's not going to end. It's going to be effed up, but it's not going to end unless the sweet meteor of death comes, Smod. Mr. Fish returns for 10 Australian dollars. Freedom is a crime. It is a crime, but I choose freedom. So I'm going to choose that crime. To my fellow Californians, it's time to piss or get off the pot. We have to do something. I have never, I can't say never, but it's been a long time since I sat around and waited for somebody to save me or help me. Maybe when I was a kid, but that's not how I live my life. That's not how my wife lives her life. We are not the kind of people who wait for somebody to make a decision. If we feel like something needs to be done and we have control over the situation or we can do something, then we do something. So if I thought California was a fight that could be won, like common sense could win here, I'd stay. I like it here. I was born here. Now, I don't love the Bay Area. Bay Area's got some cool people in it. They're not all bad. # not all. There are some very cool people here who have brains in their head and they think with common sense, and they're not all, Marxist lefties. They're mostly lefties, but they're cool people, all right? People you would break bread with and like. They're especially the fellow nerds here. And there's most of the state does have common sense. Unfortunately, it's not near the coast. Thing is, this isn't a winnable battle. Choose your battles. This place is lost. So I hate to tuck tail and run. Centrists these days are considered cowards. We're considered cowards. Well, yes, okay, I'm a coward. I'm a coward for being a centrist. Whatever. That's not going to change. So I'm going to go somewhere where I can be free. I choose freedom. And I'm going to find some place and I'm going to uproot my life, my kid's life, just to get real for a moment. You know what nobody's talking about in this state? Special needs kids. So I have a special needs kid. They require a lot extra at school, okay? My kid is somewhat on the spectrum. I hate to say normal because no child of mine is going to be normal. But he'll be able to have a full life. He'll be able to go work and, you know, have a girlfriend someday, maybe. You know, I mean, he's uber nerd, so got to do some work in that department. But he still requires a little extra at school. Okay. And I can't imagine what it's like for the parents of the kids who really need the help. They have been completely forgotten, utterly forgotten. You know, it's good to use them for photo ops and to talk about, or use them to get more funding for schools or to get more backing for the freaking teachers union. But when they need the state the most, the state completely forgets them. They're in the dust. They're in the rearview mirror. They're not even brought up. I haven't heard anything brought up. All I've heard is the schools are closed. Oh, okay. And so we're going to have to homeschool, and we're cool with that decision. Actually, I would like to thank the state for that, because we are completely cool with our kid not going to a state school anymore. And if, you know, I bet you there's a lot of parents thinking about that right now. The LA Teachers Union said they're not going back to work until charter schools are defunded, and the police. The LA Teachers Union said that. Teachers Union should be disbanded, along with the police union. I think that's something. Now, I feel that way about state unions because there's nobody negotiating for us, the taxpayer, in good faith. So we end up getting screwed. Of course, I want teachers to make a lot of money. I do. I think they're important. But I don't want indoctrinators to make a lot of money. There's a difference. Teacher, indoctrinator. Not all of them are indoctrinators. I understand that. There's some very good teachers out there. I met a lot of them. A lot of them helped my kid, and that's great. Well, they did get rid of the cops out of schools. You know, people fought very hard to get cops into schools. They're all gone now. So I'm fine. My kid's fine. I just feel bad for the other parents who have been completely forgotten in that department. But this is all for our safety. All safety. Alpha Omega Records for £5. I'm a classic gay liberal opposed to the hideous LGBT and the BLM Marxist movements. Try to cancel me. Not going to happen. Alpha Omega Records, you are always welcome here because, and we're glad. Thank you. And like I said, be loud and proud. You're welcome here because you have common sense. You have common sense and you're a nerd, and that's cool. That's all we ever asked for. Common sense is a crime too, right? Red Pill Journey for $10. So people are not allowed to dress up in other cultured outfits. It literally feels like oppression. It is oppression. This is oppression. Political correctness is tyranny. It kills me to see what is happening around me. Keep up the great work, nerd. LOL. Love your work. Love you too. Right back at you. No, one of the best things about these live streams is you restore my faith in humanity. And I feel it. Like I go a day or two without live streaming, and it's not like I have a ton of social contact. I see my wife and my kids and the occasional person I run by, and we generally don't make eye contact, and we try to avoid each other as much as possible when I'm out in the street or when I do go to the store. By the way, if any of the kids, I know it's totally random, but it just hit my head. If any of the kids who work in Pete's are in the chat right now, speak up. Are you guys open? Did they close you yesterday? Because they just opened up again because they're connected to a mall. So I'm thinking they closed them again. God dang it, that pisses me off. I mean, is there a difference between Pete's coffees? No, I just like this Pete's because all the kids working in there are brilliant. 200-watt studio for $2. Interesting to see if Chris Evans defended Stan. I haven't heard anything about that, and I was looking for that 200-watt studio. My guess is he won't. I didn't see Robert Downey Jr. No, none of the actors did. Just like Did anybody, I could be wrong on this one, has anybody come out in Warren Ellis's defense in the comic book industry? Aside from Richard Meyer and EVS and yours truly, not that I'm in the comic industry because I'm not, but has anybody come to Warren Ellis's defense for flirting? Ladies, you need to speak up because dudes are not going to want to flirt at all. And I can't imagine you like that. You got to take the good with the bad. And I'm not talking about the extreme. Okay. I'm talking about some guys are really bad at flirting. All right. They're bad. They don't have much game, but I find the people like Warren Ellis, the people who have to work a little harder, who aren't like tens, end up having some of the best game because they have to work on it like a craft, Yeah, I genuinely feel bad for Warren, who, I've liked him as a creator and I still do. There's people talking about throwing away his books. And all right, you're going to throw away Transmetropolitan? So much for that getting optioned. Sorry, Derek. Hi, Gary. Rumor on the streets. Hanks is on bracelet. Oh, Tom Hanks? Pinion for 2 Canadian pesos? That is, I have heard that. I've heard a lot of stuff. That's Exozone material. I was talking to Doomcock. I think we're going to have to do the off-platform one. We'll do it on, God, why am I blanking on the name now? Not BitChute. DLive. We'll go to DLive. Fun is now a crime. There goes the cowboy and Indian dance party I was planning. Now what do I do with all that barbecue and corn? Speaker for the dead for $4.99? Well, eat it. No, I would have the party anyway. Depends on where you're having the party. You know what? If I was you, I would have that party and I would freaking post pictures everywhere. Everywhere. That's how you fight this stuff. Every time 17,000 people, it sounds like a lot, tries to cancel somebody for wearing a kimono or something, then yeah, we have a cowboy and Indian dance party and take pictures of it. And I mean, man, I don't know if I should even say. You tie people up at the stake. I mean, do everything. Just go completely wrong on it. Completely wrong. Brian Yoder for $20. I've typed the same 3 messages and YouTube glitches, and I have to reload the page to get chat back. Take the money and screw YouTube. What message were you typing? Well, I guess you can't tell me because YouTube was glitching on it. Well, spell it wrong or something for $20. Nobody will mind. Nobody will make fun of you in the chat. I mean, look at how I spell. For Christ's sake, I screw up all the time. I saw my boy Doomcock screwed up on his thumbnail. I hate it when that happens. I do it too. I'm like, oh shit, that's got 1 L, not 2. I hate canceled. I mean, I hate cancel culture, but when you put canceled in, it's like, do you use 1 L or 2? Well, you can use both. Doesn't matter. Either way, it works. We should decide on one. We really should. Thank you for the $20, Brian Yoder. Mr. Fish returns. Hashtag pro culture. Pro culture. I like that. I love it when, these late night streams, I get more of the Aussies. So, hail Australia. Thank you for the Australian $10. Matt Burton for $100. Matt Burton. Matt. It feels like in the 80s when comic sales dwindled and then things got in your face anti-PC in the 90s and they took off again. You know what? I wasn't into comic. Thank you for the $100. I think comic sales were pretty solid in the 80s. I don't know if they did dwindle. I was not aware of it. I was too busy getting high. But the sales in the early 90s were incredible. Absolutely incredible. But you know what? They paled in comparison to the sales in the 70s and the 60s, in the 50s, when you had the strip covers and the returns. All comics were selling in the millions. Millions. You know, there was a time I went through my Spawn collection. I've got Spawn 1 through 100. And I remember there was a time I was looking through a Spawn comic. At my comic shop, I had a short box full of Spawn number 1s. And I sat there and I was talking to a customer, and he's all, those will never be worth money. I'm all, don't say that. I said, you know what? They look worthless now, and they'll never be worth what Amazing Fantasy is worth. But 50 years from now, 40 years from now, when they stop printing comics, maybe they'll be worth money. Listen, there's it depends on who wants it. There's punk rock albums that had low print runs that are worth a fortune, that of bands nobody's ever heard of. So you never know. You never know. You know, and I was thinking about the punk rock movement today. I was watching a bunch of Jello Biafra interviews for a video I'm doing. Jello Biafra is one of my childhood heroes. I know that sounds probably strange, but he is. I looked up to him as a kid. One of the greatest moments of my life meeting a celebrity was meeting Jello Biafra. He took a picture with my kids, and he was Jello Biafra. He was kind of an ass, but I mean, in his really charming way. Jello Biafra has good boundaries. He's just a confident person with good boundaries. He's not going to bullshit you at all. He's not going to give you that small talk that's getting a lot of people like Sean Gordon Murphy in trouble. You know, when you see, say, like a Mags Visaggio at a party, and she walks up to Sean Gordon Murphy and she says, "Oh, I really love your work," hoping to get "Oh, I really love your work" back. And that's what Sean Gordon Murphy did. Jello Biafra would go, "I don't like yours." And he says it in that Jello Biafra way. The dude's a legend. Now, I don't agree with everything he says politically. He's a bit whack, but one of my freaking heroes. And he's one of the first, well, not one of the first, one of the, I'm trying to think, maybe somebody before, one of the first people to be canceled by the PMRC, Frankenchrist. He went to court over this album. He had to go to court over that album. It broke up the dead Kennedys. He went on Oprah. Jello Biafra was on Oprah, taking on Tipper Gore and saying, you are destroying my livelihood. Does that sound familiar? And I was listening to Tipper Gore and the PMRC, and man, did some of their shit sound just like the SJWs now. The more rational ones, by the way, not the irrational ones, the somewhat rational ones, they're even off the chain now. And they sound exactly like the hardcore right from the 80s, the religious right, the PMRC, which was, admittedly, Tipper Gore was a Democrat, though. Tipper Gore was a Democrat. Don't forget that. So I don't want to blame it all on them. But, yeah, the similarities were weird. I just love Jello. I do. I asked him to take a picture with my kids, and he gave me like, fine. And I'm like, that's so you. I have to find that picture someday. My kids were dressed as zombies, and they took a picture with Jello, and he's all, oh, yeah, freaking, it was great. He bummed a cigarette off me. That was cool. Back when I smoked. Private Halo 117 for $4.99. Hey, Gary, I sent you an email on your Twitter email account. Subject, help Private Halo 117. I'll send it again in a few minutes. I'll check it out after the live stream. Yeah. Yeah. If you need help, let me know, man. I'll do what I can. I will do what I can. Father Ancient Pinto for 10 Canadian pesos says Dean Cain mentioned in Fox News a whole protection industry for beer bug attached to every production. Small productions will die with no money. Without small productions, you don't have your minor leagues. Hollywood heavily relies on those to get talent because they don't actually look for talent. It's up to the small productions to do that. So Hollywood is screwed 9 ways to Sunday. And what you're going to see is the entertainment industry maybe break up and localize. So the punk rock movement, to get back to that, the punk rock movement, there's a lot of people will give you their reasons of why the punk rock or why the punk rock movement rose. Okay. I can't find my words right now. Some will say it was just an extension of the hippie movement. Some will say it was to contradict the hippie movement. It's neither. Some will say it's just a fashion movement, and essentially that's how it started. It started out fake, by the way. The real punk rock movement started through the Stooges and eventually the Ramones. But the fake one, that when it blew up through the Sex Pistols, was absolutely manufactured, like the frickin' Monkees. But it still was the punk rock movement. And what it meant was it was trying to get rock to return to its roots. So it was actually a reaction to corporate rock. So corporate 70s rock, filling up stadiums, being over commercialized, the frickin' Eagles and Kiss and Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, bands I love, but it got to be a bit much. It got super corporate, and, they wanted to get back to the garage days, which every band wants to do. They all feel guilty for making it, and that's what spawned the punk rock movement. And it spawned a bunch of little punk rock movements. The DC scene was different than the New York scene, the CBGB scene, which is different than the LA scene, which is different than the San Diego scene, which I grew up in, which was straight up skater punks. And each scene had a different political point of view. But that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen to entertainment. It's gotten too corporate. It's gotten way too corporate. And you're going to see, so what Star Wars and Doctor Who and Star Trek are, they're the freaking Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and the Who of the late 70s, going through that transition. Disco was around, and it kind of bled in to some of the rock, and then new wave bled in, and they didn't know what to fucking do. But in the meantime, there was all these underground bands just fucking killing it. That's how entertainment is going to survive. Things go in cycles, and it just needs to break up and get smaller. It's gotten too big. It's gotten too big. Thoughts on Publishers Weekly article yesterday titled, oh yeah, so many people tweeted this at me, Grey Ghost, for $10. 2019 North American comic sale hits a record at 1.21 billion. Antos retweeted someone saying comics are dying sarcastically, for example. Heather Antos is an airheaded twat. So I'm gonna nerd-splain to her just a little bit. I won't break out the pie graphs this time. The 1.21 billion is total sales to bookstores, to comic book stores, including manga and Scholastic. The vast majority of that 1.21 billion was manga and Scholastic. If you take those two away, the comic book industry that sells these things, $400 million. And I hate to break it to Miss Antos, whose pencil is currently down. The year is 2020, not 2019. Comics aren't being produced. It is dying. I need to find, I can't find that tweet because I'm blocked by Heather Antos. So again, I will bring up a little comic pie chart for you. See, this is why people like this can flourish on Twitter, because they can go, is the comic industry dying? Publishers Weekly said this with no context at all. Let's see if I can find it quickly. God. There we go. I showed this to you guys last live stream, so I'm not going to totally break it down. Oh, shite. I didn't want to do that. All right, so see that right there? Am I pointing the right direction? Wait. Right there? See that right there? That's a comic book. Does that look like a comic book to you? Or does it look like a little kid's book that they're now calling a graphic novel with garbage tier art? And this is a popular one. Sorry to talk shit about this book, but I'd rather sell a hot dog on the street than sell this stuff. It's got its place. Kids enjoy it. That's great. My kid read Captain Underpants. That's fine. This is the comic book industry now. So this is what Heather's talking about. Is this what Heather's editing? No, Heather's making $40,000 a year editing for Valiant. She's overpaid, by the way. This is your comic book industry. Now, I have no problem with manga is manga. It's not American comic books. It is vastly superior to most American comic books. Now, God, it breaks my heart to say that, but it is. It just is. You're not going to get anything like Berserk from anybody in the States that's working for the legacy comic book companies. But yeah, here's your top sellers. How much Marvel? Okay, tell me how much Marvel, DC, or Valiant you see on this list. My Hero Academia, 98,000. Now, you know how much it sells in freaking Japan? It's ridiculous. That's the book scan. So these are the bookstores. These aren't the comic stores, but these are graphic novels. All right. We're going to go to another pie chart here. That's manga, doing great. There we go. Let's blow that up a little bit. And let's look for Marvel. God dang it, sorry. Marvel is 6% of the graphic novel sales in America, according to BookScan. DC Comics is 8%. 8%. You see Valiant in there? I'm looking for Valiant. Hang on. Wait. I'm looking for Valiant. I don't see Valiant. No Valiant, Heather. Houghton, Milfin, Harcourt, and all others combined. Oh, Valiant's in the all others combined for 12%. So they're probably 0.00004%. They're probably equal to the amount of transgender people in the United States of America. I would say those percentages are probably the same. Yeah. There's your comic book industry. It's Captain Underpants. So shut up, Heather. Oh my God. Go back to sports gaming, whatever you were doing. Go back to preying on gambling addicts. You Freaking Karen. I thought Crisis with Infinite Karens was a good title. I thought of a better title, but I had to save it for Friday Night Tights. I have the best title saved up for Friday Night Tights. I also was playing around with Crisis on Crisis on Infinite Karens, Superhumaning. I don't know if anybody who's watched your boy Zach and EVS did a live stream a couple of days ago, and they were going over Kelly Sudakonic's second video on her Instagram, which I did a supercut for Friday Night Tights. By the way, it was hard to get through. Okay, it was just difficult to get through. At the end of it, she goes, "Humaning is hard." This is the same person who goes, "If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book." Humaning is hard for somebody like that. It is. It is truly difficult. It isn't for humans, though. Basic human decency, stuff like not canceling people because they wore a kimono, shit like that. Or, I don't know, doing 2 10-minute videos, rolling the bus over the guy who was your friend who got you into the comic industry, talent hack. Warren, you should, Warren Ellis should go to Comicsgate. He really should at this point. I would if I was him. He'd make more money. He'd probably make more money. If Warren Ellis did a crowdfunder on Indiegogo, it would destroy. Yeah, Gray Ghost, Heather has a right to her opinion. Heather has a place in comic book history. She is one of the women who helped destroy the comic book industry. That takes effort. That really did. I mean, her parents should be very proud of her that they wasted $150K on an education so she could screw up a comic book industry and then go prey on gamblers and then get fired from a low-tier publisher. Sorry, Valiant, you're a low-tier publisher. Yeah, I mean, just so proud. I mean, the very definition of a spoiled, privileged brat who got a killer job at Marvel, who should have been grateful. Anything you should have heard from her was like, "Oh my God, I work at Marvel. This is awesome. I'm working on Star Wars. This is awesome. This is the best job ever. Oh my God, I'm having so much fun. Read my comic book. Oh, I made a mistake. Haha, you know what? At least I'm making a mistake in comic books. Awesome. I hope you read my next mistake." No. Out there stirring the pot, fucking up the industry. And you know what? All those dudes, all those supposed sexists and misogynists who said women were going to come in and ruin the comic industry. Not all women, though. There have always been women in the comic industry who were just fine. And, sure, it's always been this way. I remember when Len Wein started a Whisper Network against Roger Stern. Yeah. No, I don't remember that at all. Miranda Sinastra for $5. Did I see Cecil? I saw Cecil. Cecil is love. What's up, Cecil? I'm just baffled they don't realize how racist it is to think black people don't live in the country. My granddad grew up on a farm. Yeah. Oh, and that was speaking to the Country File, a show in the UK, which I used to like, came on before Doctor Who, said that the countryside is here. Let's get Neon. I'll get the correct quote. The countryside is a white environment. I really need to borrow Az's clown horn. Oh, you know what? I got a soundboard. I'm going to start using that. Cecil, I did see Cecil in the chat, right? Boop, 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 boop. I saw his avatar out of the corner of my eye, right? There he is. Warren Ellis is writing Cash Grab too. Good. I would ask him, dude. Worst he could say is, he'll some clever way to say no. No. Well, you could say that. I mean, we know we're never actually going to see it. It's called Cash Grab. I mean, Cecil, we know what's up. Cecil is love. Cecil is life. Please give him a sub. Go check him out. He is a unique talent on YouTube. Everyone knows who he is, yet he's the most woefully undersubbed channel on the planet. Might have something to do with his... why am I blanking on the name now? Shit. God damn. Oh, Human Centipede Migo. God, it sucked getting old. But probably not. I love Cecil. I do. Mr. Fish returns for 30 Australian dollars. Great to have so many people on Nerdrotic Doctor Who Grand Council. Yes. Yes. God, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it at the same time. But I got invited to a live stream, and I'm going to try to work both. I'm going to try to make both happen. I don't know if I can, but if I can't, then the Doctor Who Grand Council will be at noon Pacific Saturday. Okay, this Saturday, noon Pacific. And it's going to be Philip Morris, okay, the guy who is the archivist, is the one who ran around and found all those old Doctor Who episodes that people thought were lost. Well, they've been trying to cancel him for a year because he put RIP Doctor Who in a tweet. And you know what? He's not an SJW, and he's been fighting them, and they've been going after him. The Jody bots have been going after him, and he's been fighting back. He's been going through hell. So we're going to have him on with Bullstrek and with Noel and with the Rabbi. We're bringing everybody on. It's time. We're going after the Jody bots. Somebody made a 45-minute video about me. It's awesome. I didn't watch it. Ron W. for $4.99. Gary, do not know if you've seen that here in Florida, testing facilities have been caught faking positive test results. Not surprised at all. I'm sure there is absolutely no correlation between the rising rates or the rising cases of the beer bug and all the rioting and looting and more testing. It was everybody going to bars. Poor Cecil. He was this close to being able to go to a bar and he can't go. Cloud61592 $4.99. Hey Gary, huge fan. How do I become a member? Also, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're awesome. Well, thank you. If you might not be able to see the join button if you are on an Apple device. You'll have to go to a desk job. You go to my channel, you look to the right, you see the join button, you hit join. There's 3 levels, and pick whatever one you like. And thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Insanity for $4.99. Something just flew into my eye. Damn it. Watch the Star Trek Lower Deck trailer a dozen times. Still can't figure out who this show is for. Hashtag F2020. Yes. That show is for no one. Absolutely no one. Rick and Morty fan. It's not for Rick and Morty fans. I wouldn't want to disrespect them. It's not for stoners. I don't even want to disrespect them because I doubt that cartoon will even be funny no matter how much sticky icky you're on. And you could be on like the laced, like the synthetic shit that's like, I don't know. I heard it's really strong. I don't know myself. I haven't really smoked any weed in many, many moons. So I wouldn't know what your synthetic weed is like. I heard it's pretty crazy. I grew up on like weed where you found sandburrs in it, from Mexico. It was pretty good. Once in a while, a friend of mine would come up to Northern California, get like some good indica or something like that. And yeah. But no, most of the weed I smoked was crappy. But none of the weed that you smoke now will make that show good. Brian Ricard, I can't turn my volume up. I think it's fine to some people and it's not to others, but I can't. So you got to crank it. You got to crank it up. And when this rolls over to on Nerdrotic Live, I'll be able to boost the audio. Here, I'll check again. Brian Ricard, I can't turn my volume up. I think it's fine to some people and it's not to others. But sounds okay to me. The comment tax are Fletch for $2. There will be a suit. Well, I mean, they already take 30% from super chats. So there'll be a super chat tax. There'll be some shit that they'll think of something. There's a small business tax. Here in San Francisco, there is a point of sales purchase tax. I shit you not. If you have a point of sales purchase system, they charge you a fee. It's like $75, $100 a year, and they get access to it. So you know what I did? I got rid of it. I just started doing everything by hand again. Well, I used Excel sheets, but yeah, as soon as they came out with, we're going to put a fee on your point of sale purchase, I was like, fuck that. I'll get rid of it. Mr. Fish returns for Australian $10. Pooh ends up on the lower decks. It does. It does. And, you know, Kurt, this is the end for Star Trek, folks. Again, Hollywood is shut down. Everything's delayed another year, which means we're going to have to wait minimum 2.5 years to 3 years for Star Trek Picard with an 80-year-old lead. I doubt we're going to see the second season. That's why I think Strange New Worlds was fast-tracked. I doubt we're going to see that show because it does not have any international distribution, and it's got nobody to pay for it. It's got no Amazon. It's got no Netflix. So I don't know how the hell they're going to pay for it. CBS doesn't have the money. You know, maybe Secret Hideout pays for it. IDW had to do that with Lock and Key. They had to pay for their own show. So it does happen. Mikote Matsico, sorry, for $5. Off topic. Just left the theater for Ghostbusters. Oh, great. I'll support what I enjoy. Feels good, man. Oh, that's brilliant. Where are you? Where can you see the Ghostbusters in a theater? It was great seeing The Empire Strikes Back being number one at the box office. Ghostbusters made $500,000. That's brilliant. Mr. Fish returns for $10 Australian dollars. Sending you a parcel. Please acknowledge. I will acknowledge on Instagram. You know, anybody who sends stuff to the P.O. box, please, if you have an Instagram handle or a Twitter handle, put it in there, please, so we can acknowledge you on those sites. Eskimoto for $1.99. Got to keep the corporations in check. Yes. Well, as much as we can. I mean, we're on their platform. With the Patreon thing, the question I have is if Patreon cancels, because Patreon, I mean, their main thing is they handle money. Okay. So if they cancel somebody, we can use that arbitration law possibly as a workaround to get at them. What if YouTube cancels somebody with memberships? Can they find a way to use it against YouTube? Now, I'm sure YouTube's terms of service are better than Patreon, and YouTube starts out free. You have to get on the AdSense program. So there's probably a difference there. But once there's a back door open for something, it's open for everything. So I'm wondering how that affects YouTube. Christopher Gorey, thank you for the super sticker. Keep it up for $4.99. You keep it up. I'm going to drink some water here. LaCroix. Love this shit, but high in sodium. Trek God 79 for $20. Great content as always. Thank you, Trek God. Oh my God, wouldn't it be nice to? It'd be nice to have like lower tier, almost shitty Star Trek that's just not woke. Honestly, I'm not that hard to please, really. That's how bad things really are. I had this reputation at the comic shop of liking too much. I kind of liked everything. That's how bad things have gotten. Better part of valor, Gary. Run. Yes, run. Run away. How Balon Greyjoy put it, you bend the knee, you live another day. You live another day to use the sword or something like that. I can't remember the quote. Thank you, R. Fletch. Radio Receps John fan for 50 Norwegian krona. Hey, please don't have Kurt on again. He talked over everyone. Worst FNT in a long time, and I've watched all FNTs. It's the best show on YouTube. Wow. You were the first person who's complained about him. I've got like 50. They loved him. Kurt's a pro, and I think he's just used to, working a podcast. But I love Kurt. But we're going to be rotating guests out. So we're not going to have too many repeating guests unless I really, unless the fans really want them back. Like, honestly, Just Some Guy, people want Just Some Guy back every week. Every week. People want EVS back. Well, they're going to get what they want. I'm going to give you what you want. But I love Kurt. But listen, radio, message received. And that's on me more than anything. So next time I usually like to let people go. That's how I run a live stream. It's worked so far. I'm not perfect at it, but I like to let people have their say. I will jump in once in a while when I need to, but I hate breaking the flow, especially when somebody's on a roll. But next time I'll just try to do better. Left-toed pigeon for $5. First live show I've watched. Been subscribed for only 2 weeks. In my opinion, you could hang with the big dogs. Wow. Thank you, left-toed pigeon, for $5. I appreciate that. I'd love to have some of the big dogs on. I want to get the quartering on. I want to get Razor Fist on. I want to get, we're going to get Mauler back. If he wants to come on, I'm not assuming they're going to come on. Critical Drinker needs to come back on. Hey, Gary, when do you cover Miss Super Chat? Says Luca Pilipovic for $2 Australian. That is a good question. I do a Super Chat square up live stream, or not live stream. I record the video on Nerdrotic Live, and I usually do them in the middle of the week when I have time. I've got half of the one from Friday recorded already. I also have what I'm going to start doing with those is you're going to get like a special video in front. So what might have been a video on my channel, I'm going to put in front of that. And I'm going to talk about California. So talk about some personal shit that you may or may not be interested in, how California has treated us as law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. Spoilers, like shit. So, hey, Gary, every time you said Google voice popped up on my phone. Do you have your Pete's? I had mine. I didn't have a Pete's today. If you have a phone like mine, where's my phone? Oh, it's on the charger. And you say, hey, Google, it'll fire up your phone. Hey, Google, look up Nerdrotic. Or Siri, look up Nerdrotic. Don't have Kurt on again. Poor Kurt. Hey, Gary, when do you cover Miss Super? I've just fucking read that one. God damn it. By the way, Kurt was on Joe Rogan, dude. He was on Joe Rogan. Kurt has been on Comedy Central. He's like a big time comedian. Amy Schumer. And he's been canceled. So that's why we wanted to talk to somebody who like legit it happened to. Ever find yourself wishing for a Vogon constructor fleet? A Vogon constructor fleet? Yes. Douglas Nelson, thank you for the $5. Yes, and they'll just wipe out Earth for you've got to build bypasses. You do. Hello, sir. I hope you and your family are staying safe. I also want to remind you about those Jade books. There's also audiobooks as well. Story is about family. It's Godfather meets Enter the Dragon. Oh, that's killer. Miguel Olmo, I haven't forgotten. Thank you very much for letting me know for $9.99, and I will check them out. I love a good Audible book. Jason Smoot for $20. So glad I caught your stream. Is EVS on Friday Night Tights this week? Wow. How did you even know that? I haven't told anybody, but yes, EVS is on Friday Night Tights this week. EVS is on Friday Night Tights this week. I want to see if Quarter Black, are you still there? I don't know if you're available this Friday to pop on later. If Quarter Black can hop on, that would be awesome too. Gary, how are you doing with your regular mail? Says Destiny Captain for $1.99. My regular mail, like to my house, occasionally it's getting ripped off in front of my house, but not much. But normally it's fine. As far as the P.O. box, haven't gone through the last trip yet, other than the big stuff. And because I have a stack of letters to read, like about that high, and I want to get through every single one of them. So not good, Destiny Captain. But we will eventually get through that. I am planning a move right now and training a producer. So that will help a lot. That will help immensely. And Mrs. Nerdrotic is going to be able to help because she can't cut hair. She can't do her job. So she'll be around too. Swinging Cod. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. Dana Bailey for $3. I appreciate it. Swinging Cod for $5. I always argue AC/DC was the original punk band. Strip the music back down to its raw basics of blues rock. I grew up in the DC scene in the 90s. They were punk in a way, yes, very much so. In a way. They wouldn't call themselves that, but in spirit, yes, absolutely. I don't know how old AC/DC is. Do they go back to the late 60s? They probably do, right? I used to know this off the top of my head, but I don't know it now. Because punk's roots were with rock and roll, with just regular rock and roll, but the beatniks, and that started it too, garage bands. But it really hit with the Sex Pistols. That's when it started coming out. That's when it was given a name, a fashion. And that fashion was there before. It was all ripped off and manufactured by Malcolm McLaren. Thoughts on Peacock streaming with Brave New World? Did it start yet, Von Max, for $2? I haven't checked. The Peacock streaming network's going to do about as well as CBS All Access, which is not good at all. Disney Plus. You want to know how much money they made in their first quarter? $185 million. $185 million. That is nothing. I doubt that covered half of The Mandalorian. I doubt it covered a third of The Mandalorian. Maybe 2 episodes. The Mandalorian was an expensive show, so 3 episodes it covered, I think. Alan Bennett for $5. I'm calling BS on that. I'm working on a real graphic novel. On the on the comic industry making $1.21 billion. Well, they did include crowdfunding, right? I think they included crowdfunding. The Stooges, yes, I would say the Stooges were the earliest that I know of. Now, there are a couple bands that Jello brought up, which were underground bands that I had never freaking heard of from the mid-'60s that he says were kind of the start too, but everybody points to the Stooges, then the Ramones. Dude, Cecil, I got to see the Stooges at Coachella. They came out before the White Stripes and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they made them both look like freaking Donnie and Marie. The fucking Iggy Pop was bleeding. His pants were halfway down. That's a regular Iggy Pop show, by the way. He's got to be bleeding and his pants have to be down. It was fucking great. It was such a great show. I'm blanking on the guitarist's name right now, but it was right before he died. If you are still looking to move to Texas, I would love to be able to help you. I am a Texas realtor in San Antonio and have connections all over the state. Joshua Reed, thank you for the $4.99, and I need to connect you with Mrs. Nerdrotic. Then email me at gary@nerdrotic.com, and I'm going to forward your email to her. So she has been looking, and that's the area we were kind of looking in. So email me, and then I'll forward it to Mrs. Nerdrotic. Thank you, Joshua. That's awesome. Love you guys. A buddy of mine moved to San Antonio a year ago and absolutely loves it. Get out of Cali. Eric Stoller for $5. That's synchronicity right there. Bianca Blast for $2 Australian. Kelly Pseudo Comic. Calling it like I see it. I like that, Bianca. Very good. Well done. Well played, Bianca. I love Scotch. Dude, we were worried about you. I don't even know if you're a dude, really. I just called you a dude, but it's a non-sexual dude. It's a non-gender dude. I haven't seen you in so long. We were genuinely worried about you. Thank you for the $10. I hope life is good. Jack 1111112 for $5 Australian. Just joined. Doomcock released leaked screenshots of Lucas cut of last Star Wars movie that included Luke, Leia, and Solo. Your opinion? Legit leak. I honestly haven't seen the video yet. I've been busy all day. He released screenshots of the script. Doomcock is legit. I back my friend Doomcock and everything he does. As far as his sources, I don't know who they are. I know he has them. So I will watch the video, and I'll give you my honest answer, because I don't believe that the Disney trilogy will be erased. If I'm wrong, I will be happy to report it. I will do a video going, I was wrong. No problem. I'll be so happy to be wrong. But they're not going to erase the Disney trilogy. They can't. I don't want to minimize anybody, and I don't want to insult anybody. That's just not how things work. You can't flip it that quick. It's a process that would take years because of litigation, because of licensing. There is way too much business involved in the trilogy that you just can't cut people off. You just can't go, hey, you know that contract we did where you're going to produce, you're going to make some birthday napkins with TIE fighters on it. And we're going to have a Kylo Ren TIE fighter on it. That doesn't count anymore. So you got to put legends on the bottom of everything or something or we're going to have to break that contract because it's not for the real Star Wars anymore. And they're going to go, well, I don't want to make a birthday napkin because it's not real effing Star Wars. I want to make a birthday napkin for real Star Wars. So, and I know it's probably not the best example, but that's why you can't just do that stuff. I will bring on Robert Meyer Burnett very, very soon to answer that question because he has signed contracts in Hollywood. He is a producer. And that's the person I would want to ask. I've never been a producer in Hollywood. I've never been a director. I've been an editor, but I haven't been a producer or a director. So I do not know. I just can't see that happening. Does a Lucas cut exist of a script? I mean, what kind of screenshots? Again, sure, I can believe that. I mean, we're kind of rehashing stuff. Sorry, but we talked about a Lucas cut before The Fall of Skywalker, and I know the news is kind of drying up. And I said at the time, sure, I can believe there's a Lucas cut. Why not? They came in and asked him to maybe oversee a cut of the film, and maybe he gave some thoughts. Is it like, was Lucas in the cutting room for the entire the entirety of the editing of Rise of Skywalker, I don't think he would have time to do that. When I say Lucas cut, and I don't know what Doomcock means, I don't think there's a whole cut of the film. Like maybe they cut a different ending. Is that what it means? Because that, yeah, I could see that. But a whole cut of the film? No, they couldn't do that. Now they did reshoot a bunch of it, and we got somewhat, we can't say it's corroborating evidence. We got some corroborating sources from our boy Scotty Mendelson at Forbes. I did a video on it, and one of his sources said they did reshoot 60% or no, 40% of the movie, 40%. Petition to make Gary the 15th Doctor. Let's do it. Miracle draw for £2. I am not British. Well, technically I'm Scottish, but I'm not from the UK. I'd have to work on my accent, but I wasn't born there. I'm a Californian. Thanks for joining up, Gek 111112. I got to watch Doomcock's video, so I can't really say much about it. Other than, Doomcock's my friend. And we do a show called The Inquisition every Sunday at 6. This week it's going to be on his channel. Raging Raptor, welcome to the proto-molecule level. Cecil is adult only content. Cecil says, do you like Drugstore Cowboys? I love the fucking movie. I love that fucking movie. Did I live Drugstore Cowboys? Yep, I did. I mean, we're like friends ODing and dying, and me almost ODing and me ODing and not dying. Yes, that kind of shit happened to me a lot. Gary, remind me, Cecil is love, by the way. Please subscribe to his channel. Brian Yoder, dude, that day we were at New York Comic Con. That was a freaking, we might not be able to have something like that for years, dude. EVS walking down Artist Alley like a fucking boss. You trolling fucking Mark Waid and getting a picture with him. That was a good day. Steak dinner, you know. Gary, remind everyone to turn their volume down at the end of the stream so they don't wake up their neighbors when they start the next video. I will, Brian Yoder, for $5. Mr. Fish returns for $5 Australian on Twitter. Hashtag @return of Mr. Fish. Okay. I will remember that. Thank you. Drake is 6. Loved Robert Meyer Burnett on Friday Night Tights. Rob and Az killed it today. Oh, cool. Drake is 6. I haven't watched their live stream yet, but I will. Cecil says, is adult only content for $2. My Uber driver doesn't know who Gary is. No tip. Right? I hate to break this to you. Nobody knows who I am. I have been recognized. I was recognized more in your city, Cecil, than in mine. I don't get recognized here ever. You want to know why? Because I am a very small time YouTuber. I am a nobody. I am a fan. That's all. So yes, give them a tip. You know what tip you should give them? Subscribe to Nerdrotic. There you go. Ulf Grimmer for 100 Czechoslovakian dollars. Hail Gary, have you heard about Squadron 42 game, Star Citizen? It's amazing cast, and if it ever releases, it could really be awesome. They have Hamill, Oldman, Cavill, and Gillian Anderson? No shit. I'll look at that. The Grogmeister for $10. Peacock streaming is going to get plucked. It's going to get plucked. Thank you for the $10. MK Solid 82. It got retracted. I don't know why. Damn. Swinging Cod. Check. All right. Swinging Cod for $5. AC/DC was 72 or 73. Sex Pistols wasn't until 75 or 76, with the Ramones about the same time. Stooges had elements, but they had flights like VU at times. Yeah, AC/DC was more of a Again, I would put them in the realm. I would not say they started punk though. No, no. I would say every person who liked punk in the early to mid 70s, which my sister was getting into it in like 75, 76. She was listening to AC/DC, the Ramones, the Stooges, the Sex Pistols, at that time. So, but I wasn't around. I was 72. I was 3 years old. But the Stooges were in 69, so they predate AC/DC. Peace Talks by Jim Butcher released today. Hang on for all your worth. No spoilers, but everything goes sideways in chapter 30. Says Raymond Elder for $5. Jim Butcher's brilliant. I like Jim Butcher. The Dresden Files. I met that guy at Comic-Con. He was cool. He wrote a Spider-Man Black Cat book that I might be the only one who's ever read it, but it was good. Saldrin TJ for $25. Thank you for the entertainment. Much sorrow over the state of Star Trek. Glad you're getting away from Gavin Nuisance. Yeah, me too. Me too. Gary, do you think they will eventually ban old 80s action movies like The Delta Force, Iron Eagle, and Big Trouble in Little China? Says MK Solid for 82 for $5. Asks, yes. Yes, they're going to start banning things with guns. They will start banning things with guns. So you're going to start seeing it. What they're going to do in those cases, like Delta Force and Iron Eagle, they might just quietly let it disappear. I don't know. I mean, Robert Meyer Burnett talked about this in a live stream a couple days ago. It costs a lot of money to make DVDs and Blu-rays. And guess what? It costs more to make a DVD than a Blu-ray because you have to do more compression. It takes more time. So it's more, there's more labor involved. I know because I used to do pre-mastering technician. I used to be a pre-mastering technician on DVDs, and it would take me, a Blu-ray would take me a half an hour. A DVD took me a couple of hours. So, Jason Smoot for $10. Have you seen Mahler's episode 3? Thoughts? Excellent. It's excellent. I'm halfway through. Mahler is one of the top 3 best YouTubers on this platform. Period. End of story. John Woodson for $4.99. Is there a world we can create a new Hollywood with what's going on in our culture? Yes, there is. We're creating a new comic book industry is being created before our very eyes. We're watching a new punk rock movement. We're watching a new, they call it a splinter movement, but look what comic books are now. They're Captain Underpants, like I said before. Those are comic books. They're kids' books. Comic books are for the 18 to 49s. Graphic novels. I think there'll always be a place for them. And I think what you're seeing, I don't know if it's going to get huge. I think the industry actually will contract and get more niche, but it'll get better. It'll get better if it goes full independent. You need to support, that's why you need to support Alterna. You need to support companies that are like that. I still got to look into the whole Dynamite situation. Them supposedly donating to like a BLM, but a charity that bails out people who were rioting and looting. There's a lot of people who took exception to that, and I don't blame them. Christopher Gorey for $9.99. You help keep me sane lately, brother. Keep it up, and never bend the knee. Nope. Christopher, a.k.a. the Good Reverend. Thank you, Christopher, as opposed to the Bad Reverend, which is me. Daniel Nolan, my homeboy, my neighbor. What's up, Daniel? Yes, I'm leaving, dude. $15. Are you leaving the Bay Area? I'm the last SF native left. You are. My parents moved to Idaho and made tons of money on the house. I'd love to meet up with you once before you move. Good luck in the future. Daniel, definitely, dude. We'll hang out. We can do it this week. Let me know what you're doing on Thursday, and we can go get some coffee or something outside somewhere if it's legal. You might want to get out of here too, man. Go live in Idaho with your parents. Gary, you are a big-time YouTuber in our hearts. Loquacious Primate, thank you for the $2, man. Thanks. I'm good. I'm good. I cannot let this shit go to my head, dude. I cannot let this shit go to my head. It will be the end of me. Peacock started today. Brave New World episode 1 out for free. Oh shit. Von Max, thank you for the $2. I will watch it. And if it's good, I'll review it. I will get back to reviewing Doom Patrol. I will be reviewing. I freaking love Umbrella Academy. Okay. I think it was one of the top 2 best shows of last year. Umbrella Academy, Witcher, The Expanse. Did the Orville come out last year? I can't remember. I think it did. The Orville. But the Umbrella Academy is a very, very good show based on a very, very good comic. It doesn't have any identity politics. It's not woke in any freaking way when it had plenty of opportunities to be. It's got natural, organic inclusion and diversity, and the one race swap you don't even notice it. Makes total sense, and it's a good freaking show. And I watched it all the way through for the 3rd time this weekend, just randomly. Fucking loved it. So I'll be covering the shit out of that show. And then when The Boys comes out, it's going to be released weekly, which is good. So I'm going to be live after every episode of The Boys. I think they release in the middle of the night. If they release at midnight, I'll go live at midnight. If they release like in the middle of the, at 3 a.m, then I'm going to push it to like 10 a.m. So if you want to watch The Boys with me, and then we'll do live reviews like the good old days, reviewing television, that starts September 1st. July 31st for the Umbrella Academy. It's dropping all at once, so I'll do one review, and it'll be a couple days after. I might do like a little mini episode reviews on Nerdrotic Live while I'm watching it with Mrs. Nerdrotic will be joining me for those, by the way. A lot of you have been asking for her to come on. She'll come on Friday Night Tights too. Another 2 because I love the answer. Joss Woodson for $1.99. Well, thank you, Joss. I appreciate that. Gary, I think you're only fair. Okay. I think it's only fair whoever oversaw Lower Decks have happened to them what Anita did to Neil in Naughty Dog basement. Christopher, a.k.a. the Good Reverend. I think it's only fair. Okay, so what happened to Lower Decks is what happened to Naughty Dog. Listen, Alex Kurtzman, Neil Druckmann apparently was always that way. So Anita didn't really influence him too much. I think she just kind of pushed him over the edge. Honestly, I think it was just a mutual admiration society, and they probably got it on. I don't know. But Alex Kurtzman is a lick spittle ass kiss, will do anything for the corporation. I wouldn't be surprised if the corporation came down and said, I know this, you might find this hard to believe. I believe Alex Kurtzman is like an empty shell. Okay. So I think if the corporation came down and said, go full right wing, he probably would. He'd probably bend over and do it. But I think he's genuinely woke as well. But these people do shit for money. There's no soul to these people. They're not genuine. I don't think anybody buys that anybody in Hollywood is genuinely woke. I think they have drank all the Kool-Aid, and I think they're a member of the cult. But listen, every Hollywood actor they're about themselves. These are supreme narcissists here. They just all fucking agree with each other, which is bad because they have gotten rid of everyone who thinks differently. And personally, I'm way beyond motivations. I don't care what Alex Kurtzman's motivations are or Neil Druckmann's or anybody. I will judge them by their actions, wherever those actions came from. That was their conscious decision. whether it's motivated by money or politics. All I know is it's damaging Western culture. It's damaging our entertainment. It's damaging the fabric of society. So fuck their motivations. I don't really care anymore. You know what? My good friend Doomcock has been with his video series on Star Wars. I think the thesis behind it is he's trying to offer Star Wars fans some hope. Okay? So whether you believe it or not, the message behind that is we're trying to make things better. Now, what I would say to Disney in that aspect is, well, fuck all the cloak and dagger shit and espionage. Come out and say what you want to say. If you want to say you're sorry to the fans, say you're sorry to the fans. If you want to erase the Disney trilogy, fucking erase it. What's all this cloak and dagger crap? Because you're trying to get around Kennedy? Well, then just wait her out. Just wait her out. It's not like she can do anything once she's gone. She can lay down all the shit she wants when she's gone. The new person who comes in can cancel whatever she started. So I don't know what all the games are personally, but that they play them. The corporate games are played all the time. I completely believe that. So we'll see. We'll see on that front. But if Hollywood's not going to turn it around, folks. I would love to give you a message of hope, but I'm not here to lie to you. Hollywood is going to get, it will be as woke, if not woker, than, if that's even a word, than 2016. And I'm sure most of you know that by now. Like, it is going to be the double, triple, quadruple down of all effing time. And the results are going to be the same. All of their shit is going to bomb. It's going to flop and it's going to bomb. And, a few months ago, Hollywood could completely afford failures. The comic industry, I would argue, couldn't, but it had a little better cushion. Nobody can afford failures anymore when and if production starts. They don't know when production's going to start. And listen, you know what? Hollywood is they're probably having, a lot of inner monologuing going on in Hollywood. They're all on one side, there's our politics. We got to stick with our politics, which means we can't call out the government for shutting us down. We have to look good on that front. And then there's the other side. I've got to live. I've got to eat. I've got to make money. And as things get worse, as the economy possibly goes into a recession, people won't need entertainment as much. I'm not necessary because I pretend for a living. I am one of the most useless people on the planet, this side of a comic book writer. Oh, shit. So, yeah, that's the inner monologue of the artist in California right now. They're fucking worried, yet they're not going to say anything because they can't go against the grain because they've agreed with all this shit now. Is it a little entertaining to watch? Yes, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah. I don't know. Hollywood will survive. All of Hollywood will not. You will see studios die. You will see production companies die. You're going to see a bunch of shows get canceled. Right now, you're not hearing anything because there's still PPP money. But what you're going to get is a lot less announcements. They've already started drying up. Now, they still make them. The only thing they can produce right now is animated stuff. So I'm guessing you're going to see a lot of animated stuff starting to get the green light. And who knows, maybe there's a huge animated revolution coming because out of necessity, you never know. You never know. Saw the Stooges with the New York Dolls weeks after Killer Kane died. Holy shit, that's legendary. Iggy stole the show, says Charlie Higgins for $5. Fucking Iggy. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. My earliest punk rock show is the Dead Kennedys, Wabash Hall in San Diego in 1984. I was 14, and the skinheads were out there who were real racists, were out there to kick our ass, and we had our little, off our little single, we had our little arm patches with with the Nazi symbol with the little cancel through it. You know, no Nazi punks from because we were doing it, you know, back in the fucking 80s and shit, all this shit that they're doing now. And yeah, and the skinheads like totally kicked our ass. They beat the shit out of us. Well, we put up a sad fight, really. It was a really sad fight. But, you know, when a 14-year-old is fighting like a 19-year-old, it's not a close fight. I think I didn't get a full punch in. I swung. I probably missed. I got hit a few times and just stayed down and bled. What's your favorite place in Encinitas? I'm heading to San Diego. I miss Comic-Con like hell. I used to live in Cardiff by the sea. Richard Serrano for $5. What's up, Richard? Well, I lived in Cardiff. I lived in Encinitas. I lived in Leucadia. I've lived in Del Mar, La Jolla. I've lived in Mira Mesa. I've lived in El Cajon for a little while. Escondido, Vista, San Marcos, Oceanside, all over. I've lived all over there. My favorite place to eat in Encinitas is Juanita's Taco Shop. Juanito's Taco Shop on the 101 right at Leucadia Boulevard. For a while, it had a grade B, and I still ate there because it was that good. Best carne asada burritos with 3-roll tacos with guacamole. God, I'm getting hungry just talking about it. Again, very high in sodium. I am, I miss Comic-Con too. I do. I missed hanging out with people. The con itself is a shadow of its former self. It has not been good since 2004 or 5, maybe. It's been kind of a pain in the ass, but you know, it's who you go with. It's like Coachella. The last couple of years I went to Coachella, I don't think I even saw a full band, but we just hung out with our friends and we're idiots and it was fun. Austin Kaiser for $5. Gary, when is the show with you, Zach, as Cecil, and Young Ripa coming out? Where you guys do a book club and review all the old comic book arcs? That is a question for Cecil to answer. I don't know. I am up for it though. Syntax for £5. You may think you're small fry and sound maybe low, but your voice and message speak volumes. Love to hear you keep it real. Yeah, sorry about the mic, folks. I'm hooking up my sound system tonight. Fuck it. It's been sitting behind me for a month. And I can fix the mic, but I'd have to end the stream. So sorry. This will be greatly boosted up on the replay. So sorry again. Love your show. Have you seen the Eagle Moss is coming out with Orville ships? Howlin' Monkey Wrench for $5. I ordered them. Yes, Eagle Moss is great. I have a Eagle Moss Viper right there. Wonder if I can reach it. There we go. Right here. These things are awesome. I went to Star Trek Las Vegas, and the only thing I bought was Battlestar Galactica Eagle Moss. This was like $60. Totally worth it. Thank you, Howlin' Monkey Wrench for $5. Nettled Nerds for $5. Hey, hail, my friend. Just finished the Inquisition. Hope you always well when it is Star Trek Celebration. The wife and I want to come to Vegas and meet you. Dude, go. Absolutely. We will have news on that front. I emailed Mrs. Geeks and Gamers. I got to see if she's emailed me back. But we are working on it. I'm going to connect Mrs. Nerdrotic with Mrs. Geeks and Gamers, and they're going to get us. I'm trying to rent a hall at the venue where they're having Star Trek Las Vegas, because Star Trek Las Vegas isn't taking up the whole hall. So I think it would be kind of a kick to have our meetup in the same place. That would trigger all the right people. It really would. Cecil, The Witcher has me humping hunchbacks with a dream. Oh, kinky, Cecil. I saw when you passed out on Young Ripa, dude. That I fucking laughed so hard I almost peed. Extreme Aussie Guy for Australian $2. Hail, Gary. Thanks for making my workday better. You are welcome. And I'm glad you're working. I'm glad not every Western country out there lost their fucking minds and decided to burn itself down for a little while and then make everybody lock up for another fucking month and ruin more fucking lives. Good to see that some countries are still working. I'm not resentful at all towards the people who were burning businesses and stealing shit and wanting to defund the police. And then they closed down more businesses by fucking over everybody. I hope you take responsibility. I know you won't, but I hope you do. And I hope everybody remembers that in November. Just fucking keep that in your mind. Keep it locked in your mind in November for local elections. Local elections. Every goddamn mayor who wants to defund the police should be voted out. I can't believe they're not. I mean, that's how bad things are. They're not recalling any of these fucking idiots. Warren Ellis is a womanizer, apparently, but the Whisper Network is some cult-like crap to take down your opponents. How does the comics industry continue when they have to deal with people like that? CJ, $10. That is a great question. The answer is they don't. Who would want to deal with that? Who would want to go work at Marvel knowing that fucking Gail Simone is going to be cackling about you to some other nobody in the comic book industry who probably flirted or slept their way up the chain to get a Netflix gig or something like that? Fucking all I got to say is save your money. Save that $30,000 you got for that Netflix gig. By the way, yes, we're talking $30,000, $40,000. That's it. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it really isn't. When you're an adult and it's not going to you're not set for life. Now you can invest it and put it in savings. It'll be great. But considering that most of these people are comic book writers and artists and they've never really been good with money before in their lives, 30 to 40,000 before taxes, mind you, is not going to end up being very much. It's about what they make per year. Gary, I'm excited about the War for Cybertron movie dropping July 30th on Netflix. I am too, actually. Animation back to the 80s and G1 characters are back. Have you seen the trailer? Thoughts? The Good Reverend. I've seen the trailer and I'm excited. I mean, I'm not like the biggest Transformers fans. I don't know. Do I like Transformers more than I like G.I. Joe? I think I like Transformers more than I like G.I. Joe. But I was older when those cartoons came out. I was, 14, 15. I was getting stoned, and Transformers was better to get stoned to. That's all I know. Agent Deep Eyes but I'm going to watch it, and maybe I'll review it. For $5 in New Zealand, you guys have conquered the beer bug. Well done. Awesome as always, Gary. It's my birthday tomorrow, turning the big 40. Can I get a shout out? Keep fighting the good fight. We do not kneel. Agent Deep Eyes, happy birthday. Everybody wish Agent Deep Eyes a happy 40th birthday. Welcome to middle age, my friend. The midlife crisis is right around the corner, and my God, this is the perfect time to have it. This is the best time to have a midlife crisis during the faux apocalypse. Hey, I'm glad you're in New Zealand where Lord of the Rings went into full production. It is the only television show in full production. Avatar is one of the only movies in full production. And hopefully Lord of the Rings is good. I want it to be good. Damn you, Gary, in the carne asada and rolled three rolled tacos with guacamole talk. I know, Eric K. Sorry. I cannot believe we're 500 miles north, not even 485 miles north, and there's no Southern California Mexican food. And Eric, if somebody opened up a Roberto's taco shop in where you are or in my city, instant millionaire. And all you'd have to make is one type of food. You can mix in the rolled tacos too, but I don't understand why somebody hasn't done it. Maybe I should. Well, I'm not going to do it because I would have to stay here. I'm not going to fucking stay here. Two Brothers Comics for $2. What's on your spinner rack? Well, mostly I bought a Justice League lot off eBay. I got for, I mean, criminally cheap. But if you look, if we go, well, I mean, there's White Knight, which I got to stuff in there, but it's mostly Justice League. I got a mint Justice League lot for like next to nothing. I can't spin it all because there's a light inside it. See the light? I got Hellboy. Oh, look, Jawbreakers, Cyberfrog, Crisis, some Vampirella, some Doctor Who. This is actually Prisoners of Time is a great story. Teen Titans, that was a $1 issue. Yeah, mostly DC. It's random stuff that I got off eBay, though. I haven't really given it much thought. I need to put, I got to make sure my Cyberfrog is showing. There we go. That's better. And this is kind of my favorite comic book of all time. So I'm a huge Hellboy fan. Love the Hellboy. I have a BPRD tattoo right here. Oh, well, I'll just do, we were going to talk about Ricky Gervais, but I'm just going to do a video on that. Neon Wolf for Watch Doctor Who. I can't, hang on. I can't see the bottom of this. Watch Doctor Who since Legopolis, and its slow, painful death is, I'm only reading half of this. This sucks. I hate it when this happens. Hang on. Let's see if I can read the super chat here. There it is. Okay, I haven't watched Doctor Who since Legopolis. Its slow, painful death is excruciating to watch. Hope it's canceled before Chibs can end it for good. Before Chibs ends it for good. I don't think Chibs can end Doctor Who. I think they will continue on without him. That's the word on the street. But not without a license fee. They're going to have a lot of trouble. Now, they have licensing from China that is paid for it up until, I think it's the same amount of time that's paid up through HBO Max. So we're talking 2023, 25, something like that. But without the license fee, would they contract it back into a show that's on a limited budget? I'd almost like that. I think it should go back to the half-hour episodes, not be woke at all. The Doctor should be a bloke. They need to erase the last 2 years of canon, at the very least, the last year. But I would say 2, get rid of Jodie altogether. But they won't. I know they won't. I mean, Doctor Who's already dead, Neon Wolf. I mean, that's really, we're gonna go through the panel on Saturday, and maybe a couple of people on that panel can talk me out of it, but I don't think so. I mean, I don't want to give myself false hope. It would take a miracle to turn that show around and to bring me back. They would have to erase the canon. They would have to, like, Star Trek is the one that doesn't have to erase canon. They could just forget about fucking CBS Star Trek and I'd be fine with that. But Star Wars needs to erase canon, and Doctor Who needs to erase canon. And remember, Star Wars fans who are not into Doctor Who has it so much worse than you do. So much worse. At least you have Luke up, and you can just forget the Disney trilogy. They just went back and effed everything retroactively, and they're going to go back. Oh, believe me, they're not done. They're going to be inserting stories in between Doctors and all that shit. I didn't tell you that in the video because I didn't want to crush everyone. But yeah, they're going to go back and they're going to use all those mystery regenerations to insert fucking Doctors in between the other Doctors. So we're not going to have all those white Doctors in a row because Doctor Who's got a white male problem. And that was the quote my insider used. Doctor Who has a white male problem. And I'm all, wow, that could mean so many things. Can it mean the fans and the Doctor? And he went, yes. He's getting ready to leave. Yeah. He says it's just fucking miserable and nobody's making money. got this though. This was the one figure I was missing. I got two. So I'm going to give one away at Star Trek Las Vegas. Miracle to save Doctor Who, you say. I am on it, says Miracle Draw for £2. Good. It didn't say it was impossible. I sent you a message on Facebook, says Daniel Nolan. Okay, I will respond, and let's hang out on Thursday, Daniel. On set, says Maldus Alver for $1.99. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up. It's late. I need to work on a video while I have some voice left. I would like to thank the Nerdrotics, who are, according to Christy, who did a great job, Eric K., brilliant job. Lady Gravemaster was in here. She is my producer. Everyone give it up for Lady Gravemaster. She will be, listen, your super chats are going to get answered faster. The super chat square ups are going to happen faster. You're going to get responses to your message faster. She is just nothing but help. And I know I'm terrible. I hired a woman. You believe that shit? What's up, DJ Scandalous? How you doing, buddy? Eric K. again, thank you very much. Nettled Nerds, thank you very much. Douglas Nelson, thank you very much. All the Nerdrotics, you're brilliant. You're beautiful. You're smart. Chris Persia, the best wrench in Canada. And yeah, I'll fix the mic next time. I apologize for that, folks. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, do not forget to turn your phones down and your TVs down, and yeah, so you don't get blasted. Okay, now the shadow, hail. Dilly. $50 from Brian Yoder. If Who Made Jody the Nightmare Child, they could save it while changing the timeline in canon. They could. They could make her the Valiard. For all I care, I don't care. Make her the Ronnie. Gary, check out Yu Yu Bakusho. Jack White, I will. Is that like some anime or manga? I was about to say it wrong, but I always say shit wrong. All right, we're gonna tap out now. Thank you, Brian Yoder. So next live stream tomorrow, 10 a.m. We're going to talk about, I'm going to go over the Whisper Network article in detail. We're going to basically talk about the comic book industry tomorrow. I'll talk about the comic book industry because we're going to save Doctor Who for Saturday. And then we have Friday Night Tights with Ethan Van Sciver, 2 p.m. Pacific time. And hopefully Quarter Black Garrett can join us too. I'm not sure if he can. But no, Zach, yeah, I'll get Zach on if he doesn't mind. We want to get them both on. I'll ask Ethan if he's cool with that. I'm cool with that. Yeah, like 7 is the absolute limit though. I mean, usually I'm going to keep it at 6. I know you can pull 10 into StreamYards, but man, 7 was almost a bit much. So yeah, I'm not going to bring in 10 people. Now, occasionally towards the end, I'm going to bring some patrons on to talk, when we get into the super chat area. So, and some members too. So if you're at the Gandalf level, or if you're at the 1 tier to rule them all level, you will be getting like little guest segments on Friday Night Tights and Nerdrotic Nooners and other live streams I do, like the Inquisition and stuff. But Lady Gravemaster will be working on that. She doesn't know it yet, but she will. And so that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night. Not all who wander are lost. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. And you bow to no one. Ciao, Bella.